Hello, everyone, and welcome to the news where we talk about the latest and greatest news about Barbie. I'm Vinicius Santana, and I'm joined here once again for with the amazing Michael. Hi, Michael. How
Hello.
are you, my friend?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay. Actually very impressed by the amounts of news we have today to talk about.
Oh my God, we have so much news and so much more is like coming out even every day. There's something new that's coming out for the
Yeah,
last
I
week.
never seen anything like this before.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like this either. So
And from my point of view, I think that you may have something to show us before we start talking about the latest news.
I
Is
I
that
do.
right?
I do. I got something very, very interesting. Um, I'm gonna I'm gonna read it to you first and then I'll show it to you. Um,
Okay.
this is a patent, a piece of patent paper. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm going to read
Okay.
what it says. Changeable shape hairpiece and method of styling and artificial couture. Patent number 3955587. Uh, Ductile filament, such as 37 to 43 gauge plastic coated metal wire, are distributed through hair filaments in such a manner that a small number of
I
ductile
know what this
filaments
is.
may be used to hold large number of hair filaments in a changeable shape coiffure. The ductile filaments may be distributed throughout any body of living hair or hair which is attached to a base member. It's a grant. It is for inventors Ralph Dunn, Stephen Lewis, and Millie M. Phillips.
Ah,
And
is that
what
for
all that
the
mumbo
Barbie?
jumbo is, it is for quick curl hair.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yes. And
Oh my God.
this is actually a prototype red-haired Miss America quick curl doll.
Oh, was it launched? I don't remember seeing
It
any
was
red
launched,
head.
and it only came originally. It was in brunette only after they did the White Walk Lively Miss America. Then the following year in '73, when they introduced the quick curl hair, it was brunette. And then after that, this is kind of an interesting story. Um, After that, every year, the Miss America, from what I understand, would change depending on what color hair the winner had. So if it was a brunette one year, there would be a brunette. If it was a blonde, they would go to blonde.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so I thought that was really interesting. That was a something new I just got literally a few days ago. But my favorite part was having the patent, a copy of
So,
the
oh,
patent.
about the patent, how did you manage to get these, and
Um,
what does it mean for every of our viewers to understand?
um, what it means is this is the paperwork that was um, given and granted to Mattel for the quick curl hair. And so this is the patent saying, yes, it's granted to Mattel for this to
Okay,
make
and
the
for those who don't know what these actually means in terms of hair fiber, how
right.
did this work?
Sure. So what they did was they would put in this plastic coated wire in with a plug of hair. Um, and so, uh, sorry for the visual there. Um, and so, and I actually have, what's very interesting because kind of a sidebar story. Barbara Handler had red hair. Okay. What I find very interesting is the amount of prototypes that I have from the late 60s or that had red hair that they did not do. So they were, I guess, maybe trying to, win favor with Ruth and Elliot Handler. But I have three quick curl prototype Barbies. They're all different because they were experimenting with how many wires they should put in with the plug of hair. So I have one with a tag on it that tells, okay, we need this many fibers with this many wires and stuff. But
Yeah.
it's
Uh, and before that, for us collectors to style Barbie hair, we needed to boil wash the hair, or making some stuff or using some types of products. But with this, you were able to just do the core of the hair
Yes,
without any machine or any
right,
procedure.
right. And the tagline was no wetting, no setting, no waiting, because you could instantly change the doll's hair.
And
And
it was
so
a smart choice to do this.
I think so, but these dolls got a lot of hair play. There's a lot of ratty looking quick curl dolls. Um, and they then changed later on down the road. They Mattel kind of uh, like in the early 80s with Golden Dream Barbie, she had less wires. Actually, the wires are only in the front of her hair, they're not in the back of the hair. And then in the 2000s, they came out with a fiber for the trendy bendy Barbie, and it was a filament that was clear on the Barbie. It kind of matched her blonde hair, and then reddish for Teresa, brown for Christy. And I actually like that better because the wires get very kinky. They get very, weird looking, on some of the original quick curl dolls. And let me tell you, restoring a quick curl doll is not for the faint of heart. It is not an easy task to do because you've got all these, not only do you have to detangle the hair, you got to detangle wires, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It's
So it's
complicated.
it's kind of hard. Yeah. So anyway, I got that was something new that I just got, and so anyway, I wanted to share that with everybody. So
Oh, thank you for sharing.
you're
I
welcome. You're
love
welcome.
when you bring your new stuff and your prototypes for us collectors to see. It's a
Thank you.
pleasure.
Oh well, I'm more than happy to help and more than happy to share. So and
Anything else you wanted to share with us today?
um, it's kind of new, but kind of not really new-ish. I got my Kylie doll.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
and
what are
so
your thoughts about her?
yeah, I love her. I think she's great. There's been a little bit of criticism about, for example, her boots being plastic, opposed to, the real ones on that one of a kind that Bill Greening did. Um, and a lot of people realize they can't do those fabric boots. Those fabric boots like they did for that for cost and stuff like that. Um, I think it's a great doll. I think the
Yeah,
price is
here
good.
in Brazil,
Um,
we have this store. It's actually a homemade store where
uh-huh.
they are selling the boots for this doll, the
Oh,
actual boots with the fabric. It's
oh,
leather, and it's pretty interesting. I can send you pictures of these or show the pictures in this video for you guys to
okay.
see in America. And
Okay.
it's a really good material. Unfortunately, I don't use my dolls with modified versions. I like them in pristine condition.
Yeah.
So um, I probably will buy these boots for just showing and trying, but not for uh, exposition.
Right, right. Yeah, you want to keep your stuff the way you got it. So I totally
Yeah,
understand.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's about $20. It's
Right.
not
Oh, okay.
expensive.
That's not crazy. That's not crazy.
No. So the first doll we have, it's the Fantastical Realms doll. For the last couple of years, we have been getting this type of voting for new dolls. Last
Uh-huh.
year, we voted for a new doll for Angel Kant, where
Right.
we had three types of teams. We had Alien, Fairy, and Goddess.
Yeah.
And the collectors chose between these three types of teams, and the chosen one was the Goddess team. How
Yes.
did you vote? And this year we got it all, and we will get there pretty soon. But collectors don't seem to like her, and the doll looks like have been postponed.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel about the voting? For
Um,
who you voted for, and how do you feel about the way Mattel handled things?
um, if I remember correctly, I voted for the alien one. Um,
Me as
so,
well.
but the winner was the ethereal, whatever it's called. Anyway, um, um, the sketch was fabulous. The sketch was great. The execution, not. And we're I know we're gonna touch on another doll too, in a little bit.
Yeah,
Um,
unfortunately.
where the execution I just don't understand. I understand, especially everybody knows, y'all know the audience, I collect
Oh,
prototypes
so
and
so so
samples.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Just for the collectors to know, we voted for the team, we voted for the faces kept, and we voted for the color choice. And
Yes.
the winners were uh, Goddess with Odile faces kept, and I believe it was white team or a gold team. I don't remember. I
I
believe it
don't
was
remember.
white.
I
Anyway,
think it was.
that's it. You can move on. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. So what I was saying is everybody knows, I collect prototypes and samples, and I understand where in another show I showed those prototype Oscar de la Rentas where they use premium fabric and they couldn't use premium fabric. Okay, I
Gorgeous
get
doll.
that. But this was a mess. I mean, this was, it's like I don't know, they came in, hung over on Monday. Um, and they're like, "Oh, we better hurry up and get this done." Like, I just don't think the execution was that great. A lot of people refer to it as a high-end Sleeping Beauty. That's what it looks like. It looks like a high-end Sleeping Beauty from a Disney movie. Um, she's pretty, but for the voting and for all of this stuff that I hate to say jump through hoops for, but and then to get that doll was just not good to me. What do
Outrageous
you think?
for the price.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think that there are a couple things that I wanted to share with you uh, uh, about my thoughts. First of all, about the choicing. I didn't see anyone asking for a goddess doll. Everyone was cheering for alien or for fairy.
right.
And I don't know how the goddess one ended up getting chosen.
Yeah.
And even though she was chosen, look at like Angel Kant, the designer, was making some efforts for the fairy to be the chosen one. Like
Yes.
in his Instagram account, I saw he kind
Was
of chose to help the fairy
he was
one to,
he was steering the voting towards that
yeah,
direction. Yes, yes,
yeah,
yes, yes.
that's exactly what I think. And I don't think that for me, I don't know if it was Mattel not letting him work, or
Right.
I don't know, maybe he was just out of his comfort zone and was not able to deliver any of these
Um,
choices. The doll end up a mess. For
yeah.
$100, this is the skirt was terrible. The shoes were terrible. The face painting, the screening of the doll, she had these star-shaped uh, figure in her eyes that I don't
Uh,
think worked very well. And I don't see this doll as a fantasy doll. We only know that it's a fantasy doll and it's a goddess because of the saying they had before.
because
But
they told us. Because
yeah,
they
that's
told
right.
us.
That's
Yeah.
what I
We're
think.
like, okay.
How about you?
Because um, I think because I've seen Angel's work. I've seen, at least in person, one of Angel's one of a kind dolls that was auctioned off at the Barbie convention in Chicago. I think he's got the skills to do it. Um, and I noticed too on his Instagram, it was kind of steering towards, that one choice. Um, I don't know who made the final decision, but it seems to me like some of the decisions being made lately are undermining the talent and the designers, that they're
And the
undermining
collectors.
them. I know several months back, Mattel talked about they were going to start using AI. Um, are they going to, you know, are they going to get rid of all the designers and only use AI to start creating Barbies? But to me, it seems like they've undermined the talent of these designers. And I know how hard they work, you know. Um, and it's almost like maybe they're making an excuse. Well, you designed that, but it didn't go that great. So, we're going to start using AI. I
Do
just
you
think
think
it's
that
kind of
Mattel,
crazy.
it's maybe Mattel is doing this in purpose, on
Yes.
purpose?
Yes.
Okay, and let me
What do you
ask you
think?
something. Uh, Actually, I don't think that in this one doll in particular, Mattel did this because there are lack of creativity in this doll. I don't
Uh-huh.
see anything special about her, and I think that she was pretty close in terms of overall appearance with the prototype we saw before, the sketch. I'm sorry, not the
Right.
prototype, the sketch we had before. So I think
Yeah.
that this doll in particular, there's a lack of creativity
Okay.
in, on Angel Kent's uh, path. Uh, but I want to ask you something. Mattel
Yes.
postponed the doll. Is that right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
do you think that they actually heard the collectors and decided to postpone the doll to deliver something better? Or do you
Yes.
think that since the doll wasn't ready yet, it was a made to order choice? Do you think that the sales were so low that they hadn't any other way to make this some profit without postponing her?
Um, I think that they heard the feedback and people were just fit to be tied about that.
I don't
I
think
think they
they
heard
heard anything. I think that the sales were so low that they had
uh
any other option besides.
well, I think it's twofold. I think they heard the people, okay, and because the reaction was so bad that there were no sales. So I think it's twofold. I think they
Okay,
heard
okay. But do
the
you think
reaction
that,
from people and then they're like, "Oh crap, we're not going to be able to sell this. We better do something." That's my thought.
but in your opinion, do you think that if they were selling well, if the collectors were buying, do you think that they would have listened to the collectors and tried to improve the doll? Because I don't think so.
I think that they would have listened a little bit, but here's the deal. Um, Going back to Toy Fair, which of course just ended in New York this last week, there's a lot of dolls that show up at Toy Fair and the buyers have a bad reaction to it, or and they get canceled. You know, um, or in one case, there's these dolls called Princess Tenko and the Guardians of the Magic. When they showed those to us at Toy Fair, um, I actually saw, well, long story short, I actually have two of the prototypes. That doll was 11 and a half inches tall. It was a Barbie sized doll. When it finally came out on the market, it was only 6 inches tall because apparently the buyers just were like, you know. Um, so there are a lot of things that are shown at Toy Fair that are either canceled or they are
This
radically
year?
changed. Radically changed. There's things. I've
Are you
seen
talking
things.
about the Toy Fair this year? There were things that were canceled?
No, in the past, I know
Okay,
there's been
okay, I
things that
got
were
it.
in the past. I don't know about this year, but I do know that in the past, there have been things that were canceled. One of the stories I got was with the Princess Diana, and she had died in August of the previous year, and they showed that doll in February. And from what I was told, once again, this is what I was told, um, the buyers at Toy Fair in New York that year said, no, you cannot do this. It is too soon. You cannot do this. You cannot do this. And then, of course, there was also issues with the family, but the buyers were like, you can't do this. It's too soon. And the doll was canceled, you know. Um,
Okay.
and also, um, I will give you another example. The Audrey Hepburn doll that they did from Breakfast at Tiffany's, That doll was spectacular. What we saw was off the charts. When that doll came out, they changed the head mold for some reason. I don't know why. And I'll tell you another really interesting story about that. As we know, Audrey has that lovely swan-like neck. When we saw the prototype of that doll, it was on a vintage talking Barbie body, which I thought was very interesting because I went around the back of the display and you could see where she had the holes in her back for the talking mechanism, which I thought was very
Oh,
strange. They would use a body from, a talking Barbie from the late 60s, early 70s. But there's a lot of stuff that
it
we
doesn't
changed.
make any sense.
No, it doesn't. The Generation Girls, we had heard about them, and I don't know if they weren't as exciting or something, but in the beginning, they all had different names. They all came with cosmetics. They all were named, the cosmetics, this is funny, were named after different cities. I remember one of them was a lipstick called Marina del Red, which there's a city in LA called Marina del Rey.
Love it, the
Um,
name.
and so I actually have the sales sheet from Mattel with all the original names and telling the cosmetics names that were supposed to come with them. So they do change things, but on this, um, I think that they got the reaction, and I think maybe they thought, oh well, there's just a few people that don't like it. We'll be okay. And then when the reaction kept going and going and going, they're like, oh crap, we're not going to sell these dolls. These dolls, we're going to have to revamp it. We're going to have to do something,
Yeah.
and that's why they
And do
canceled
you
it
think that they
temporarily.
will revamp and launch the doll, or do you think that maybe they will end up canceling all the orders and all the things about this doll and not launching her at all?
I really don't know. I kind of think, now this is just me, I kind of think that they are going to rework her and we're going to get something great. I think they will rework her. Um, I don't think they'll cancel her because they want to get money. Let's face it, they're a company, they want to make money.
Yeah,
I think it'll be
but
revamped. I think they'll give it back to Angel and say, okay, do it. Go over it. Create,
I don't know.
that's just,
I feel like they are not willing to let another doll go out there and have the same reaction. So I feel like they may end up finishing the project before the launch. I can imagine they launching the doll, and if collectors don't like her and start this all over again, I don't know if they are willing to try it again, try to show the doll again, the prototype.
I, yeah, I kind of think they are. I kind of, because they want to make money. And I kind of think that, what I think they're going to do is I think they're going to revamp it, and I think that we're going to get to vote on the revamped version of it.
That would be a nice way out of this situation.
Yeah, yeah. Because the thing is, with the prototype, they only have to make one. You know, they don't have to go into production. They only need to make one, and then have the collectors vote. But I have a feeling that we're going to get to vote on a revamped version. Now, this is just my feeling, this is just my opinion. Um, they're going to show us either two or three dolls revamped, and then we get to vote on the revamped version of it. That's just me. That's what I
Okay.
think. So,
Okay. I think that since we're talking about the lack of quality and the rage of the collectors, we should jump into the next topic of our show. And I think that topic should be the Bob Mackie doll that was revealed this month on Mattel Creations.
oh
And
yeah.
it was such a story. Can you unfold the stories for us collectors to understand,
Um,
Michael?
well, to say people were upset is not even covering. It doesn't even begin to touch. People were just outraged about that doll. And
But can you put the context of these all they think
oh
for the
sure,
collectors that didn't
oh
saw them?
sure, sure, yeah, yeah. So in the beginning, I actually used to work for a doll and teddy bear store. So we sold, that was along with my regular job, we sold the Mackies, so we sold all those Mackies from the beginning. And then towards the end of the Mackies, they started to not quite as many beads and sequins, but it still was very nice. They were still nice. Then we got the birthstone ones, the diamond, etc. Those were the mail order, the jewel. I think they were called Jewel Fantasy. I think that they did. Those were not um, the beads and sequins like we were used to for a $200 doll, but they still were really nice. They still were nice. I have a couple of them. I know you'll find that shocking that I do, but anyway, but this thing, okay, and those, I believe, if I'm wrong, please somebody correct me. I believe that those Jewel Essence, yeah, Jewel, they were like $95. Um, and this thing is $125, and you're giving me glitter dotted fabric that I can find on a $10 fashionista. Are you kidding me? Are
Yeah.
you absolutely?
Are you kidding me?
And then the other thing, which um, we've seen posted, you posted it, other people too. Um, this is virtually a copy of a one-of-a-kind Mattel Bob Mackie doll. Um, and you and I discussed this, privately, but um, I would be really pissed off if I bought that one-of-a-kind doll for a charity event, and then in this case, I think it's been 10 years or more, you come out with it for
Um,
retail. They've
23 years after.
Oh, 23. Okay, thank you. Um, I just think that's kind of outrageous. Um, and really glitter dotted fabric, really, that I can find on a fashionista or that I can find on. In fact, I actually have a top, believe it or not. I didn't have time to dig it out. I actually have a top that was sold separately for the My Scene dolls. That's a top, and it's using kind of beige fabric with kind of coppery, bronzy, silver glue dots on it, which is what that fabric is on that Maryland. Not Maryland. I'm sorry, it's Mackie. Because there had been a rumor that was going to be the Maryland was that, but we now understand there's another Maryland. But um, I just think that's outrageous. I just think that's outrageous that they are giving us that um, fabric on that doll. What do you think?
First of all, I was really into this doll when the first pictures were shown. Mattel
Yes.
made these cutout of the best parts of the doll, and I was willing to pay for the doll the price they gave me. So I was not intending to hold my money on a Bob McKee doll. So you can imagine my frustration when the doll was revealed and it was a mess. And I can understand that the one of a kind dolls have a kind of quality that unfortunately they cannot make mass produce it. But
Right. Right.
girl, they really dropped the ball on this one, you
Yeah.
know. And in
Yeah.
the same month that we had the other doll, there was
Right.
postponed because of the reaction of collectors. And I think that maybe if they were in the same situation of made to order doll, I think they
Uh-huh.
would have hold again this Bob McKee
Right.
doll.
Right.
And I think that the collectors who really want her, I think you
Uh-huh.
should wait because I can see her. Of course, I have no way to know this, but I can feel like she's going in on some sale event later this year.
Yeah. Can you hold on for just 1 second?
Whoa, she's beautiful. I never saw her.
90. Okay, so these were those dolls from the collection. So these dolls were, I believe, I said 95. I think they may have been 110. So, okay, this doesn't have a lot of beating. This doesn't have a lot of sequins on it, but it's pretty damn fabulous. And so you're telling me that they couldn't have done something similar to this for this
They could
instead of this
have,
Mackie.
yeah,
Yeah,
but they had put the money first, not the collectors. And we are not kids. We can understand when a doll is not well made. And
right.
what do you think, Michael, about the sketch we had? And you said before about the uh, you would be pissed if someone launched the doll that you just brought and a walk doll. And I can relate to that, not because I don't want people to have it, but because I wanted to pay the same as the others. So um, spending a lot of money in one doll just to see it being sold for way less, it's frustrating. But what I was trying to talk to you is they just took and sketch from the old days, and they seem to cut out the hard things to do. They
Yeah,
took the feathers off, and they didn't. Bob McKee didn't make any new sketch. They just took the old one and cut out the edges and launched it all like we were dumb, and we
yeah,
would never find out.
yeah, yeah. I do. I think that they just took that sketch, like you said, and just now I could be wrong, I think they scanned it in and they said, AI, make a different version of this, you know,
Maybe,
uh,
but I
and
don't think they did that because
because
Bill Greening.
I don't think that they I personally don't think that they made a new sketch. I think, like you said, they trimmed what they had, you know, uh, Bob Mackey's, been paid, you know, uh, back then, uh, I think they thought that we wouldn't know the difference.
Yeah, and I want to jump in sharky waters now because
Uh-oh,
Bill
Sharky Water.
Greening. Oh, can you
Ugh,
see Michael? Sharky
I can.
waters.
There's a shark.
So Bill Greening worked on this doll, and for where I understand, and from where he write and in his social media, he worked some time with the doll, but not all the way through the end with this doll. And when he posted something about this doll, he closed the comment
The
section
comments.
on
Uh-huh.
purpose because I knew this
It's a
would.
shark.
It's a shark,
It's a
and
shark.
I was really curious because Bill Greening is such a gentleman, and he would never say bad things about Mattel or the dolls. He's kind of a fancy guy. He would never get himself into any
Sharky
bad.
Waters.
Yeah, like us. Anyway, you got me. So what do you think about this?
I think that um how do I put this? I think that he saw that doll and was now this is just me, this is just my opinion. I do not know this for a
Michael
fact.
is trying not to
I
spit
think
some blood on the water.
I think he was I think he was horrified when that doll came out. I think he was horrified.
I
And
think the same thing.
I'll tell you something very interesting as well. Um, when they did the Silkstone in modern art, um, the girl that worked on the hair, I actually follow her on Instagram. That doll's hair was amazing because she showed a picture of the prototype head with that hairstyle. Um, I think that um, he was gone. Um, I think that now this is me thinking, um, I think that they got the samples back, um, and maybe he was already gone because I pretty much think Bill is out there watching out for us. I think he would have stopped that in its tracks.
Uh,
Um, and I
Actually, he
think
talked about it, and he said that the hair was not the hair he first intended for the doll,
he's not.
and
Yeah.
someone changed the hair for the
Yes.
photo shoot, and
Yes.
it was, of course, someone that was not into old dolls to
Right.
understand how important it is to keep the same
Right.
style for the reproduction. And
Right.
Bill actually talked about this,
He
and
did
I
talk
think
about
that
it.
it was really good for him to talk about it because
Yeah.
it would end up uh, on his shoulder.
Yeah. I do too. And like he did post that. I saw that. But once again, I also followed the girl that did the hair on it, and she showed pictures. What she showed, somebody screwed that up. Somebody screwed
Of
that up
course.
because it wasn't Bill. It wasn't Bill. It wasn't her. Somebody dropped the ball. And I have my own theory about that doll. Why it ended up looking like the way it did. Um,
Can you share these
I sure
this?
can. I sure
Uh,
can. My theory is it was done on purpose because Bill was so well loved, and the reaction to Mattel letting him go was so furious. People had their pitchforks and their torches ready. They were so upset. And I personally think that they did that to try to mar his reputation. And the thing
Undermine
was,
the
undermine him. And the thing was, enough collectors knew that Bill would not do us dirty like that. And I also think that that may be where this Mackie situation comes from too. I think that now this is my personal opinion. I think because they are still hearing about Bill. We're now what well, it's
1 year
February.
after.
So we're heading to a year later. A year later, people are still bringing this up at Mattel and on the Barbie accounts and stuff. Why'd you let Bill go? Why'd you let Bill go? Um, so I kind of think that this Mackie was another attempt that tried to mess up his reputation because we know that Bill would not do this to us. We know he
Yeah,
would.
but we collectors, we are not dumb, but we know Bill and we know what he's capable of. So, Mattel,
Yeah,
don't even try to undermine Bill. Bill
no,
told us that the doll was kind of in the same way he left the doll, but for
right,
some reasons, I doubt that.
right. Sharky water.
Sharky Waters. Anyway, should we jump in for the next topic of our show?
Yes, sure.
Okay, so Barbie Holiday 2026. About the Holiday Dolls 2026, like Michael said before, we had the New York Toy Fair this month in New York, and they presented us the last dolls in the holiday collection. And there may be five dolls and five Barbie dolls and five Ken dolls, but they showed us only four Barbies and one Ken. And what do you think about them? What are your thoughts?
Um, I kind of like that holiday Barbie. I kind of do like it. Um, I thought the dress was actually kind of nice. Um, unlike, last year's, flaming dumpster fire. Um, I actually thought this doll's dress was actually kind of nice. Um, I I hate to say I know we're not going to get it, but that hairdo on the white doll is fabulous. I mean, they really did a great job on that. I hope we get that. Um, but I actually liked the holiday Barbie this year. The Ken I
I
thought was
think
kind of
that
different.
I'm sorry. You can continue. I'm sorry. I interrupted you.
Oh, the Ken was different, than last year. I kind of hope that not all the Kens have like the identical hair. I hope they vary the hair. Um, but I thought she was really actually quite pretty, considering some of the things from the past that we've got that have been not that great and look like, a big tacky pinata. you know. So,
They have been doing bad dolls in the holiday collection for so long that when they present us the average doll, I think people go, "Oh my God, look at this doll!" And most of collectors don't actually like the dolls for the dress or for the theme, but they
uh,
actually want to rebody it and play with it. So they looking for the face, and Mattel knows that. That's why they keep launching so many holiday dolls. I'm
uh,
not really into these big princess gowns that they make every single year. I think that in the 80s it was okay for them to do this, and in the early 90s. But come on, we are in 2026. We may have another silhouette for to work with these dolls. But anyway, on another hand, I think that they are better than the last year's doll. Not
yeah,
that it's really good.
right. Well, like, it was funny because I was actually talking with my best friend uh, a week ago, and we were talking about when we used to work for the doll shop and how we
I'm
used to
sorry, you
get
had another
so.
friend?
Yes, I do. One more. Yes, just one. Um,
Toxic
and
friendship.
he and we were talking about when we worked for the doll shop and how that we used to get so excited for some of this stuff. And now we look back at it, we just laugh because it was just some of this stuff was just big and tacky, you know. But at the time, it was the best that we could get. I mean, it was, you know, we weren't, stuff with rooted eyelashes, some of this stuff was amazing, but we thought it was amazing at the time, and now we just look back and laugh at it because it was hideous. But the thing was, at the time, that was the best we could possibly get or that we had access to. And like you just said, these other holiday Barbies, they're so bad when they do something mediocre, we get so excited because even
Yeah,
though it's mediocre, it's better than before. But I really do like this holiday Barbie. I think, believe it or not, this may be the first year that I've bought a holiday Barbie that is not a prototype, not a sample, in, I would say, 30 years. You know, I mean, really, I think she is kind of pretty.
all of them,
Um,
or is there any specific doll that you intend to buy?
um, I'm kind of torn between the Caucasian doll and the Asian doll. Um, those
Okay.
those are my two, because I think they're pretty. Not that the other ones aren't pretty, but these just kind of stuck out to me. That's my own opinion.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
and
Everyone
maybe
have
I'm,
your preferences.
like on the white doll. Maybe it's because that hair is just so glamorous and fabulous. Will we get that hair? I'm not going to count on it, but I'm excited about them. I think I may just buy one. Um, I know I take that back. I did buy one doll one year, and I split it with. Uh-oh, you're going to be upset with another friend of mine. So I have two other friends besides you. Um,
Oh my God, I will have to make something about this.
I'm sorry, but we split the doll in half. I worked at Target. They went on clearance, and he wanted the shoes and the I think he wanted the shoes and the head, and I wanted the dress because it came with a metal corset and the body I needed for something. So we
It
split the
was a
doll.
white and silver dress.
Yeah, with a corset, a metal corset. Yeah. And I
I
wanted
know
that
it.
metal
I know that
corset,
one.
Yeah. Uh, so I did buy that one, but prior to that, I hadn't bought a holiday in,
The last
years.
beautiful, the last holiday doll that I actually like it, even though I don't buy them, it was the 2009, a pink one.
Yes, yes.
After
That was
that,
fabulous.
downhill.
Yeah. I, n- you know, I know you're gonna find this shocking, knock on wood. Yeah, I actually have a production sample of that doll, but that was a fabulous doll. Um,
Yeah,
and and
such a pretty
I did
face.
not buy that retail. I bought that from, an employee, a former employee. But they did do some really great, and that holiday, that was, for the 50th anniversary of Barbie too, so I think they pulled out all the stops. Um, but then after that, it just kind of, you know,
Yeah, and that was why I was so eager to the 60th anniversary, and it was so disappointing.
uh-huh,
Yeah. Anyway, unfortunately, they are launching this doll for around $50 later this year. What I
uh-huh.
think it's outrageous for the type of doll we're talking about. But you can just hold for the sales later in the
Right,
year.
right, right. Well, I can remember going to, oh, where was it? Was it was it Toys R Us or Walmart uh one year, and they had the three, but this is how bad it was, people. They had the three, they had the doll that came out that Christmas, and then the 2 years prior dolls that they put back on the shelf they were trying to get rid of.
Yeah,
You know, so if you missed, that holiday Barbie that year and the previous 2 years, you could buy them. Um, it, and thank God they've cut down on the production of them, because I can remember back in the day when they said we're cutting back on production. Um,
and I
it,
don't feel like they're cutting out. Look like they are improving it. There are
well,
5 dolls. Come on.
well, no, but they had originally, they back in the mid '90s, they announced that they were cutting back the amount of holiday dolls, and I believe the number was, don't quote me exactly, but I believe the number was they were cutting them down to only 500,000 of them.
500, it's still a lot of doll.
That's a lot of dolls. Yeah,
500,000.
that's a lot of dolls. Yeah. So, but the dolls, uh, I don't know. They're, like you just said, they had
It's paper
hit
label.
rock bottom so bad, they had hit rock bottom, that now even just this mediocre, and once again, I do think she's pretty, people are very excited about it, so
Did you heard what I said?
I'm sorry.
500,000 dolls. Maybe this is paper label. It's not gold. It's not black. It's not platinum. It's paper label.
It's paper. Yeah, it's, yeah, it's paper label. Yeah, it's, yikes. So what's
Yikes.
our next subject?
Okay. Oh, let's go to the next subject. Let me
I mean, we were done with the
see.
holidays, right?
Oh, I think that we may have a disagreement here because we're having a Miley Cyrus doll, and
Yeah.
I'm actually excited about this. But Michael don't seems to be on board with this one. Am I right, Michael?
Um, I'm not, I mean, I don't know. It just, of all the people they could have done, of all the other more worthy people they could have done, I just find it kind of shocking, more iconic people they could have done, um, that they picked Miley Cyrus. Um,
Oh,
that
come
that's my
on.
opinion. I think that they could
Okay,
have
no,
picked,
it's okay. It's okay.
and I'll even name who I think they could have done. Maybe she's turned them down. I don't know, but they have the head for it. Um, what what would you rather have, Miley or Janet Jackson?
Miley. Miley.
Janet.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, even though the Janet Jackson one of a kind doll that they presented a couple years ago, or I
Right.
believe it was 10 or 15 years ago,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was a beautiful doll. But
Yeah.
I was not really into Miley Cyrus and Hannah Montana stuff. But after the 80s thing that she did, I kind of like her now, you
Uh-huh.
know?
Okay.
And I know that I can buy myself Barbies, but I
Right.
love this one.
I
So
can too. Yes. And I
yeah,
have
yeah,
bought plenty
but
of Barbies
despite of
for
the
myself.
person, despite, yeah, I can buy myself Barbies. I
Right.
can have all the labels,
Yeah.
and I think that we can make a parody about this. Is it parody the name?
Parody.
Parody. Okay, just mispronouncing. Anyway,
That's okay.
despite of the doll, of, despite of the person we're talking about, despite Miley
Yes,
Cyrus
right.
herself, what do you think about the doll? Do you,
I
because I
do
think
think
that it have such a good resemblance with the
I
singer.
think the doll is quite attractive. I do think they really did nail the head mold, the hair. Um, I really do think they did a great job on the doll. I'm not a Miley Cyrus fan, um, but I do think that they did a great job. I'm not a Lucy fan, but I've seen when they've done I Love Lucy, they've done some great work on I Love Lucy dolls, So I have to give credit where credit is due. Uh, my only thing, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, is could you please find an alternate fabric than this
Other
imitation
than
leather? Because,
yeah,
I would almost,
it's
um,
beautiful,
yeah, because my
but
thing is, I'm afraid it's going to be all in the bottom of a box 10 years from now. All that leather is going to be floating around there,
I'm
shredding.
not
And I
afraid of
just
that.
wish,
I'm certain of that.
yeah, I just wish Mattel could find an alternate fabric um, to do that.
Uh,
But I do think that all is quite pretty. I do think they did a great job on the face and everything. So,
and I'm with you on this because I don't think that they actually chosen an version of one of her video clips for these dolls, but there are so many visuals they could have chosen for this doll, and
well,
one I was actually hoping for was the Grammy awards that she won last year, I believe.
uh-huh.
There are so many outfits they
In the
could
Mackie
have chosen
dress.
for her. Yeah, then Bob Mackie
Yes, yes.
dress.
Well,
That's
I'll
right.
tell you something. I'll tell you something really interesting because I saw the doll and I was like, "Oh, okay," and I hadn't seen an image of her looking like that until just recently. I saw some still pictures from an upcoming music video where she looks like that in the music video.
Uh, She launched a music video last year with that same clothes, with
Did
the
she?
same
Okay, well, I saw
outfit.
a picture. Oh, okay. Because I had not seen that, but I did see a picture a few days ago.
Yeah,
So I don't know if it's another video that's going to come out or something, but she was wearing her hair looked like that. I mean, it was very interesting. So,
she launched a video album, visual album
okay.
with some videos in it. Of course, there are videos in a visual album, but
Uh-huh.
in one of the video clips, she actually dressed like this, and it's just not very spread outfit. There are not a lot of people that actually know this. I was not into
Right.
this outfit until the doll was presented, or
Oh, okay.
uh, so not presented at all. It was uh, when I forgot the word. The doll was not presented. She was leaked. Yeah,
Right. Right.
leaked.
Okay.
So anyway, I'm asking you this, but I already know the answer. Do you intend to buy this doll, to put this doll in your collection?
Um, if I somehow can finagle a prototype or a sample, yes.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a friend of mine that is really into Miley Cyrus, and he intends to
Okay.
buy this doll,
Right.
and more than one for one of a kind work.
Uh-huh.
And I believe he intends to make the Bob Mackie dress for her.
Uh-huh. Okay. No, I'm
And
saving
I'm
my money for
actually
another
curious to
celebrity.
see what.
Oh, I said I'm saving my money for another celebrity doll that's coming, which we may or may not
Oh
talk
my
about.
God, is it in our list today?
I don't think it was. Um, but the one that I'm saving my money for is the Whitney Houston.
Oh, Whitney Houston, of course,
Yeah.
of course. She's
And
not in
then
our list today, but we can talk about her.
yeah. Um first of all, I love Whitney. But the other thing was I was like, "Oh, if they do a Whitney, I wonder what they're going to put her in." And then when I heard that it is the I Want to Dance with Somebody, which is one of my favorite videos that Whitney ever did. I just about lost my
Mm.
mind, you know.
Yeah, I had the same feeling.
Yeah, yeah.
I
So
had the same
I
feeling,
can't wait for
and
that.
I watched that video once, and I was just wondering, oh my God, they should produce a doll with this outfit and this hair. It would be so glamorous and so 80s
Yes,
that
yes,
she should be the next doll on the Lady of 80s
right,
dolls, the
right,
collection we had uh, way before.
right.
So I'm so happy about this. And we had some leakings of her eyes and her mouth. And
Yes.
I'm happy that we are getting.
I have a feeling that we may get, because there are some doll artists out there, I have a feeling that we may get repainted Whitneys that look, let's just say, special. I just, God, no. Um, but I think they're going to sell. I really think because people have wanted all forever. Um, and I'd heard rumors
Yeah,
Whitney, um, as back as like I'm gonna say maybe the late '80s. I had heard rumors about the possibility. Um, so finally we're getting it. You know, I'm
I, I,
so excited.
I don't think Whitney was on the same list as Madonna in my mind because I don't think they will ever produce a Madonna doll. But
She's
with
turned him down,
Whitney, I had the same feeling because I never thought that Mattel could jump in these sharky waters, because
right?
she's so controversial with so many things about her that parents would not like to see on Barbie.
Yeah.
Don't you think
Well,
that?
I think though, um, and I know that Madonna has turned them down at least twice and possibly three times, which is kind of interesting because she did let Alexander do dolls of the characters from The English Rose, which is a book that she did. Um, but I think the Whitney and the thing, you have to understand back in the 80s, Whitney was a revolution. I can remember reading articles not
Yeah,
that long, little black girls, suddenly they could wear pink lipstick because Whitney was wearing pink lipstick. They could do, she gave them the power. She gave them, you know, um, kind of like
she was a
Oprah
role model.
Winfrey, kind of like Oprah Winfrey talked about seeing Diana Ross and the Supremes on TV. Um, and that was revolutionary, seeing these elegant black girls. Then we got Whitney in the 80s that flipped the the fashion, world, on its end. She'd been a model before she did singing and stuff.
The
Um,
bodyguard
I
stuff.
the body, but the thing is also, I think enough people remember the Whitney from that time and the bodyguard and stuff. It's kind of like, I mean, let's face facts. They did Elvis. Elvis had a whole bag of trouble with
But
him,
he's a man.
Um, they did Marilyn. Marilyn had a difficult time. She had, so they've done these dolls of people that have not had such a squeaky clean past. And I think a lot of people choose to remember them at their very best, not, not bloated Elvis in Las Vegas, not, Marilyn, being just a mess, not Whitney being all strung out. They don't remember that.
Yeah,
They remember you know,
but there are a difference. First, Elvis is a man, and we know that men don't have the rage between bad stuff as women do, unfortunately. And
uh-huh,
I think that things are changing, for
uh-huh,
God's sake. But Whitney was on time was on a time where television was way larger. Everything she did was recorded,
right.
and people saw her degrading in front of the cameras. That
They
was
did.
not something that we saw on the behalf of Marilyn Monroe or Elvis Presley. So I
No,
think
but we
that
read about
it's
it
a
and we
little
saw
bit
it.
harder on her.
I don't, well, I, we, we still
And,
read about it. The thing is, there were still tabloids back in that
yeah,
time
but
talking about
it's
Marilyn. There were
warmer.
still
That's what I'm
tabloids
saying.
about Elvis, so I still think um Elvis, Marilyn Elvis, um, I do think people do know about all the bad things and know about but however, they choose to remember the best parts. I do agree with social media and TV. We watched, God, it was horrific. We watched Whitney's
Uh,
downfall,
And the tabloids
live.
were on a different path these
Yeah,
days. They
yeah.
love it to make bad press about celebrities because it sold.
Oh yeah, yeah. We love to tear down as a society. We love to tear down a celebrity. We like to watch them fall. But on the other hand, we also will rally behind them, you know, when they go back up, so it's really funny how we will tear them down, but then we will, build them up. And somebody like that, I think, poor Britney Spears, people just dog poor Britney, but you've got this
Yeah,
whole other thing where go Britney, we're waiting for you, when you're ready, we'll be right here, so um but like I said, I'm excited about the Whitney Houston doll, so I
yeah.
cannot wait.
Will she be in that? How about her? Do you intend to buy her?
Will I buy her?
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh God, yeah. More than one, I hope.
Probably, yes. Because I
Yeah.
might uh prototype Cinderella Brandy as Cinderella dolls that I have. So yeah, I might stick her over there. Uh but oh yeah, I plan on
Okay.
buying at least probably three, you know, um, because it's just so fabulous, so
Yeah,
got to.
I hope you can manage to buy because there are some dolls that just vanished from the shelves. And
Yeah.
on the behalf of the doll you just showed me, the Kyle Minogue doll,
Uh,
she already on sale in some places, and I thought that this was the type of doll that would vanish from the shelves. Do you think that she was overproduced? Or do you think that people were not into her like they were into Steve Nicks and other dolls from the music
um,
series?
I think, um, I think they may have, I don't know what the numbers are, but I kind of sort of think that maybe they made more than normal because not only do you have the Barbie fans, but then you've got the Kylie fans. In fact, I was on Kylie's website on Instagram and she had made mention of the doll. And I can't tell you how many people said, "Oh my God, they're doing a doll of you." Really? I didn't know about this. So I think they did tend to make some more. Now, I've only seen her, I heard that they were having a sale on her um, at Target, but from what I also understand, Target was having a sale
On
on
Amazon as
all
well.
Barbies. They were having a sale on all Barbies, and Kylie just happened to
On
fall into
Amazon,
that.
they on Amazon she was for 43 US
Oh,
dollars.
okay, okay. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Maybe they.
And
But
I
I
hope
think it's going to
she
sell
she
out.
sells well because I want to get another doll, the get out of my head version maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
So I hope it sells
If
well.
you if there's an outfit from I've found online, and it is very much like the outfit for "Can't Get You Out of My Head," and I'm planning on buying that outfit and putting it on my doll. So I can't wait.
Okay, so you're not letting her be padam padam.
Um, she'll go back and forth. She'll go back.
Okay, 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 okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I have more than one. I
Let's
bought
jump
more than
in.
one. So
Oh, so a lot easier. Unfortunately, the makeup it's so uh, strong and so reddish that
yes.
it may be a little bit not too realistic with the original outfit. But I think that she's a beautiful doll and will be great on Get
Yes.
Out of My Head. I want pictures of this.
Yes,
I want to
I
see
will
pictures
definitely
of
give
this.
pictures. Yes, yes, yes.
Um, so, the Barb Style collection started around 2019, I believe, with the dolls of Instagram. Barbie have this account on Instagram. It's called Barb Style, where
Uh-huh.
they showcase Barbie as an influencer and making the influencer stuff and taking pictures all over the world. And
Right.
they said before that she actually goes to the places they photograph her in, and collectors always wanted these dolls for them to buy. And in
Yes.
2019, they started selling the dolls on on Mattel Creations.
Yeah.
And at this point, we had a lot of dolls on this collection. I have all of them and some fashion packs. And looks like we're getting um, versions of cities of the world. And
Yes.
the first one to be leaked was the Brooklyn doll in the Milan
Right.
style.
In
And
Milan. Yes.
look, yeah, and how about this collection? What do you think about this collection? Do you have any of them?
I
And how do
don't.
you feel about this new direction the collection seems to be going?
Well, it's actually kind of interesting, um, because um Mattel Creations is supposed to have like a kind of a reveal thing sometime in March. And
Yeah.
one of the dolls, well, no, let me kind of backtrack. They always show the dolls and stuff. But anyway, one of the dolls is the Milan Fashion Week. And this week in Milan is Fashion Week. I don't know if you knew that or not, but this is Fashion Week in Milan.
Yeah,
So I
I
think
was
that's the
aware.
doll they're going to reveal in that program or whatever video or whatever they're going to do in March from Mattel Creations. I think it's kind of nifty that we get to get some of these clothes and some of these looks um, that they are showing on the Barbie style account. I think it's kind of what I find very interesting, and I'm sure our viewers, um, the latest thing is Ken has hooked up with Expedia, and they're showing him all around the world.
Yeah,
Um, what I find very interesting in in those pictures and also in the Barbie style is they are going back and they are using original Barbie fashion pieces from the 60s and 70s, both for Ken and Barbie. So I think that's kind of interesting.
that's
Whenever they
interesting.
show a picture on Barbie style, I always comment if it's something, oh, I see you reached back and you got something from 1970 or two or
And I saw a car
whatever.
as well,
Um,
the Mini
and the
Cooper.
car, so I think it's kind of nice that we're getting these Barbie style Fashion Week dolls. I think that's cool. Um, I've got some of the outfits, from the Barbie style account. I bought some of the
Yeah.
outfits and stuff. So I think it's nice to give us that stuff. I wish we could get that stuff all the time, but I do. What do you think of the dolls?
Um, uh, the first one, the Brooklyn one, it's the outfit is beautiful. I really love the outfit. It's outfit that we had before. It's an old from a couple of years ago. Dior assemble, and she's
Uh,
wearing one of the Dior assemble. You can actually see it resembles the new look stuff. But the doll itself is not my type of doll because of the mouth. I still think that it's strange. Anyway, I have to have this doll. I'm a completist, and I'm gonna buy her. And I'm
okay.
actually anxious to see what this collection will bring us. Uh, the next one may be the Paris version,
Uh-huh.
and it may be Malibu face Barbie. Uh, the what's the name of the face? I forgot.
Millie.
Millie, the Millie
Millie.
face, and the other one that should be New York will be Teresa face sculpt.
Yes. Yes. And
So
I'm really hoping that they um use the original Teresa head sculpt uh from they introduced in the 90s, that they had used for Teresa for so long.
yeah,
I kind of hope they use that.
yeah. Unfortunately, it's not my favorite. face sculpt. I think
What?
that it's
No,
kind
I'm
of,
just kidding.
I think it's kind of square, you know,
Yes, yeah. It's very angular.
and
Yes,
it's
it's
not
very
my time.
square.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what we may end up getting. I will buy her anyway. And do you intend to buy this collection?
No, no.
And how about, and do you think that they will end up releasing a can version of the uh, this collaboration they're making with Mattel with Barb Style?
I think so. I think there may,
I hope
yes,
so
I think
as
they'll
well.
do. Yeah. And not that I don't love the dolls, but um, as you know, I only collect prototypes and samples. Very rarely does anything that's not a prototype or sample come into the house. The Kylie Minogue was an exception. Um, so because, like you, only have so much room, So
Yeah,
not that the dolls aren't great. I just no, unless I can get a sample or prototype of it, no, unfortunately. But they are great looking, the concept sounds really great, and I can't wait to see everything in person. So I know you're going to get them because you said you're a completist. So
yeah, yeah. And I hope we get this Mini Cooper released again sometime because it's a car that I'm really into. The Mini
yes,
Cooper and
yes,
the 1957 Chevy we had in 1989. I hope they re-release these two
yes,
cars.
yes, yes. I wish they would
Um,
too.
uh, the Barbie Basics Wave 2. The Barbie Basics was a line that was launched in 2010, if I'm not mistaken, and presented dolls in basic outfits, as the name say, and collectors should improve the outfit and make it better. And the collection was relaunched last year with made-to-move bodies, and for me looks doll with another name. It's not basics at all. But anyway, they're launching the Wave 2. It already for sale on Mattel headquarters and some Amazon online stores in some places in the world, and don't seem like they are actually presenting a doll in a specific day. Maybe they show it on Mattel Reviewed event
Uh-huh.
later in March. And how do you feel about these dolls, Michael?
I had heard that they were delayed. I'd heard that they were supposed to come out, um, or they were trickling out, and then I read just a couple days ago that they had been delayed till like further in March. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on. Um, I do think, um, because Carlisle was introduced into this last year. Um, yeah. And of course, Bill, worked on him. I do think it's uh, a new road, I guess, so to speak, with them having the made to move bodies. I'm not a big fan of the made to move bodies. I never have been. They look like,
Model
you know,
Muse to the end.
Model Muse, the original Barbie body, the belly button body. These made to move bodies look like a, I hate to be, and no hate mail, people. Like an amputee with an artificial leg or an artificial arm. I think the bodies are horrible. Um, so I do think this is a new venue or new road to take. I think some of the dolls are great. Um, that boy is really fabulous. I've seen some pictures of that boy doll, which has the new slim made to move body. He's very handsome. Some of the girls are very pretty. Um, so I think the dolls are nice. I'm not real crazy about the color palette of them being in the beige. Um,
Agreed.
I don't know about you, but my world is
Totally agree.
Technicolor. Um,
Oh,
I do. I'm not a beige fan. And I
I'm
much would
basic,
have
but
rather
not
seen
beige.
them in a different color.
Looks like I'm into beige.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, a little bit into beige, but um,
Yeah.
you know, I have one shirt that has brown and beige on it, um, but I think the dolls are actually quite attractive in the face and the hair and the I'm just not real crazy about the beige outfits. Um,
Yeah.
what do
I
you
got it.
think?
I think that they don't actually are basic dolls. It's unnecessary to call them basics. They could have just gone with the looks name,
Right.
because they are actually Barbie looks with another branding, but they're not my type of doll. I don't have any of the last year basics dolls, so not for me. Another public maybe.
Right.
So
Okay. Okay.
not much to say.
Right. Now, did you buy any of the last year? Did you buy any of those kits? No.
No,
Okay. No.
no kit,
Okay.
no basic dolls, no anything about these new basic dolls. I have some of the old ones with the model Muse body, and they look so
Uh-huh.
much fancy than these
Yeah.
new versions.
Yeah. I do too. I have some, so and
Yeah, I know you have a one of them that was from a designer from the picture they made. I don't remember the name of the designer. Anyway, when they first presented Barbie Basics line,
oh,
they connected with some designers for them to release uh, uh,
yes.
one of a
From
kind
the
versions of them.
yes, yes, I do have that. And then I have some others. I have some others too. Um, so in fact, one of the cool things I have is, they sent that to those designers, but then to
Yeah.
doll artists here, I'm assuming it was just in America, they sent them a big box and it came with a basic doll and all four fashion packs. And they gave
Oh,
them
that's
to
interesting. I didn't know that.
Barbie doll artists for them to create and then like send in photographs of them because several doll artists that I know got them and there was only a limited amount of I actually was able to procure one so I actually have one and I'll show it another time but it comes in a big giant white box with pink lettering on it um, because
Yeah,
they really
and
wanted
that's
people to
another
play with the
reason.
dolls.
And that's another reason why I don't think this version is a bar basic doll because um, they don't launch at any fashion packs for us to
Yeah,
revamp the dolls. So
yeah. I would have
it's
liked
not the
that.
same. What?
Oh, I said I would have liked that. Fashion packs.
Yeah, yeah, I would like that as well. As
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Um, Lenny Kravitz.
Yes.
And Lenny Kravitz looks like he's getting a Ambassador doll. The Ambassador collection was launched last year with the launching of a so well-made doll of LeBron James.
Yes.
Collectors went crazy about his doll, and this year looks like we're getting Lenny Kravitz with the braids and all the stuff with the tattoos, and uh, I'm really excited about this doll. How do you feel about this new launching, Michael?
I think he's a sexy man.
That's it.
Um, I think those dolls are gonna fly off the shelves. I think those dolls are going to
I
go
totally agree.
crazy. Um, I, this is just my thoughts on it. I think if you want that doll, people, buy that doll as soon as you can get it because I think that doll will come and go and you will see them on the secondary market within 2 or 3 weeks for a lot of money. I really think there are so many Lenny Kravitz fans. Um, from what we've seen, the little sneak peeky pictures of it, um, it looks pretty damn fabulous. So I cannot
Yeah,
wait. Yeah, yeah. Very excited
and
about that.
and I don't remember of us getting any here in Brazil called that type of hairstyle dread. I don't know if it's the same name in the
Yeah,
US.
dreadlocks. Yeah.
Yeah, dreadlocks. And I don't remember we getting any other candles with dreads. Can you remember any? Because we had the braids of Caribbean doll, but I don't.
Right.
It's braids only. It's not dreads,
Right.
and I think that
Right.
it's the first doll to have dreadlocks.
I other than maybe a one of a kind or something. Yeah,
Yeah,
I believe this is it. I believe this is the first time that they've used that fiber on a doll. Yes, yes.
yeah, and I think it went up uh, selling pretty well. I don't know if you're aware of this, but Lenny Kravitz have this huge farm here in Brazil, and he's spent a lot of time here. Uh,
Oh, okay.
it's pretty interesting. It's a big and amazing farm.
Oh, okay. No, I did not know that. Okay. So I learn
Yeah,
something new
yeah,
every day.
yeah. I will send you a video of his farm for you to
Oh,
see. There are
yes.
only two topics left, and one of them is Legally Blonde. We already
Yes.
had a Legally Blonde doll launched years before. I believe it was 15 or 20 years ago.
Uh-huh.
Uh, I have this doll. I think that she's
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
I see her right there.
And yeah, and looks like it's anniversary of the movie. I don't know how many years, maybe 30, 20,
I think 25. It's a 25th anniversary.
25. Yeah, and it looks like we're getting another doll. How do you feel about that?
I'm very curious about this because this has been brought up on social media. Um, is it a 25th anniversary doll? No, we've heard it's a 25th anniversary doll. Is it a 25th anniversary doll, or is it a doll based off the new TV series, which follows um, our favorite Blonde? Uh, it follows her
Second
in her
flavor.
younger years, you know. So it's going to be very interesting to see. I'm hoping that it is a 25th anniversary doll. I'm hoping that and I'd forgot about this. Um, I'm hoping that they use the Reese head mold that they have
I hope
because
they
the head mold
they
was
have
used on that movie a couple years ago that
Wrinkle
she
in
did.
Time.
Yeah, Wrinkle in Time. Thank you. Um, so I'm really I'm a big fan of Reese's. I'm a big fan of Elle. You know, I'm not gonna lie. I've used the bend and snap several times. Um, and so, um, I can't wait. And there's also, and here's another thing, there is a third movie coming out. Um,
Yeah, there's a third
so
movie coming
I'm
out.
very curious if this doll is going to be a tie-in with the third movie. I don't even know if they've started filming it yet. Um, but I'm very excited because, I love Legally Blonde. I like Reese. So I'm very excited about that. For the love of God, please don't put it on a made-to-move body. Put it on um, a regular body or put it on a Model Muse body. Please don't put it
Pivotal
on
doll
a made to
body.
move. Would you say?
Pivotal,
Yeah,
pivotal. How
yeah.
how do you
Pivotal.
pronounce that?
Pivotal?
Pivotal.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
pivotal. Pivotal would be great too. But for the love of God, please don't put it on a made to move body. Please do not do
Uh,
that.
I'm actually not so excited about this because I fear so much what they could end up doing. Because last year I was so excited about the um I don't remember the
Clueless?
name in English. What?
Clueless? The
Clueless
Clueless
dolls.
dolls?
I was so
Yes.
excited about the Clueless dolls, and when they showed us the dolls, they were crap. I'm sorry, that's the word. Not
That translates
and
that translates to any language.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and unfortunately they were really bad, and it was a missed opportunity because I don't know if we will ever get any Clueless dolls, and I hope they end up don't fuck it up with this. Yeah, fuck it up with this legally blonde dolls.
Yeah.
Doll, actually, it's not
I
dolls.
hope not. I hope um with it being a 25th anniversary, which we've read, so we hope that's all factual. Um, but those 30th anniversary Clueless dolls, um, I really, and I'm a big Clueless fan too. Um, so I was really hoping they would be kind of sort of fabulous. And the outfits looked good, but it just could they not have used um, the head molds that they used from the Clueless dolls that were Playline? Um,
The
I
fabric,
don't
it's
know.
terrible. I have these dolls, and the fabric is terrible. And
Is
the
it?
accessories, the plastic accessories, it's a really, it's really bad. It's
Yeah,
not.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
it's
And
less than Playline.
and I and I think that um like the hat on Dion, um you really you're telling me you couldn't have done that hat like in if I can go to here's what I look at. If I can go to the hobby store, um, and for our viewers here, and I don't know if you have them in Brazil, but we have Michael's, good name for a hobby store, and Hobby Lobby. If I can
We
go
don't
and
have it
find,
here.
oh, okay. If I can go and find a felt hat that looks like that hat that Dion is wearing in a hobby store, you can find it in the
And,
manufacturing to make that.
and
You gave us there's a doll called Summer Sophisticate, which was from Spiegel's that had this glorious pink felt hat. You gave us a gray felt hat for Ken in the Jewel Secret series separate outfits. So you mean to tell me that an outfit for Ken, which was $9, you could put a felt hat in that. Yes, I realize that was 30 years ago, but you can put a felt hat in that. You can put a felt hat with this Summer Sophisticate, which was a $60
Bratz
doll,
made it.
but you can't put one on this. Like, I just find
Uh,
that, you know,
yeah, and Bratz released dolls of from this brand from Clueless, and
yes,
they were able to deliver the hat. And can
yeah,
you imagine that hat? It's the most well-made piece of the set.
yeah,
So you can imagine how bad the set is. So
right,
uh, for the Legally Blonde doll, we already have a well-made piece here,
right.
and I think I think that I hope that they can understand there's a stand for them to achieve.
Well, my thing is, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah,
Um, that's like when they remake movies,
well
it's
said.
like we already have, you know, a movie. Why are you remaking it? Why are um, if it's not broke, don't fix it. You can
Yeah, and
do,
I don't see
um,
they're
and
launching any other
and
outfit other than this one.
no, and the thing is, if you're gonna redo a doll, if you're gonna do an anniversary doll, make it as good or better than the original. And I'll give you a really good example of that. The first Bob Mackie in the gold dress, which is
Yeah,
fabulous,
while
when they came out with,
hand sell soul,
yeah,
how you say?
right, right, hand, so yeah, with the beaded, everything. Um, funny story, really quick. When I was on TV for the 35th anniversary of Barbie, and Bob Mackie was on there, um, they actually had a model come out wearing that outfit, which was
Oh, that's interesting.
amazing to see that in life size. Um,
Is
but
this show
but
available on
Casey,
YouTube?
I believe it is. I believe it is. Um,
Oh, I
it's
will try
a
to
it's
find
a
it.
talk show. It's a talk show, and her name was Lisa Gibbons. It's LeezaBbbons. And I'm on that show with Bob Mackie and Ruth Handler. And in fact, when I talked about the quick curl hair, Melly, the girl that helped develop that quick curl hair, she was one of the guests on there. There was also a girl, a face painter. She was on there. Um, but my thing is, if you're going to make it as good or better. Case in point, back to that gold Bob Mackie. That first Mackie was fabulous. Then when they did it for the 50th anniversary, that 50th anniversary gold Bob Mackie was fabulous. You know, so if you're going to
Uh,
do it right.
I'm looking for these right now, and I don't think that they have this show uh, so easily
Oh, okay.
on YouTube. But I think that you should upload the video because
If
I'm
I can
actually
find it,
interested.
I will. If I can find it, I will, uh,
I hope so.
you know, post it and stuff like that. So,
And last but not least, we will have Barbie and the Hawkers, Barbie's Repro dolls, the
yes,
later or early this month, and early this
yes.
month, and oh my God, I'm hoping for them not to mess up this launching. How do you feel about the Barbie and the Hawkers collection?
Um, I'm really partial to that because I was a teenager, when those came out. So of course, MTV and all that stuff. I can actually remember there was a lady that was in my
I was
Barbie
hoping for
club.
you to say that.
Yeah, there was a
and
lady in my
and
Barbie club, and she brought the prototype Derek to one of our meetings in December of 1985 before they were shown at Toy Fair in 86. Um,
I thought
we were
that
so
Ken was only presented in the second wave of the dolls in 1987.
no, the Derek, the dark-haired boy, was in the
Oh, the
first, yeah,
Derek doll.
Derek.
Okay.
Um, and so when those dolls came out, I mean, it was revolutionary, kind of. Um, I'm very excited. Um, I own, and I'll
No so revolutionary when you know that they're a copy of the jams. The
what's very interesting about that how that all happened is that somebody saw Gem and the box at a toy fair, and they called Mattel, and Mattel just went like gangbusters and got those dolls. Not only did they get them developed, but they actually had them on shelves before Gem could even come out. Um,
yeah.
but the thing was, that
Actually,
was, oh, go ahead.
I heard a different story. Someone
Oh,
called Mattel. Someone inside Hasbro or inside
uh-huh,
the stores that were dealing with Hasbro, someone
uh-huh.
heard this and contacted someone called, I don't remember the name. Oh my God. Do you want to know the name? I can find it.
Oh no, that's
But
okay. That's okay.
okay, so someone inside Hasbro called Mattel and Zimmerman. I believe it was the name Zuckerman,
Okay.
something Zuckerman. Anyway,
Okay.
uh, and called Mattel, and Mattel gathered all the old stuff Barbie had and music related, old guitars and
Uh-huh.
pianos and everything they could grab. And in 24 hours, they already had uh, a Barbie, uh, a Barbie,
Concept.
yeah, concept. That's the word. A Barbie concept for the Barbie and the Hawkers, and they achieved to present the dolls by the
Uh-huh.
toy fair. And Hasbro didn't know they actually had these preset for
Yeah.
toy fair, and they made a huge presentation. And Hasbro was fabo. Can you say the word? Because I can't. Fabogasted.
Flabbergasted. Yes.
Yeah, that's the word.
Yeah.
Because they actually thought that, and oh my God, how did they know? And Mattel just said, "Oh, it's just a coincidence because how rock it's a set thing that everyone is talking about and MTV and stuff, and that's it."
Well, it was revolutionary because it was Barbie, and it was clean, and it was non-threatening, and it was, I mean, the 80s in music was crazy. So it was, that was why it was revolutionary for Barbie to be this rock star. It was, even though, we got live action Barbie, back in the early 70s and everything, but this was revolutionary. Um, I know there's that show called The Toys That Made Us, and they talk about how,
Yeah,
now the
on
story I
Netflix.
heard was there was somebody who was at a toy fair, and they saw the package, gem package was thrown in the trash, and they alerted Mattel, and Mattel said, in that in that video, that Toys That Made Us, if they would have had longer time, um, they would have, you know, done better, I guess. But they went crazy, and had those dolls. Normally it takes 18 months for a doll to reach the shelves. Those
Yeah,
dolls,
that's
I
right.
can remember, um, when the commercial came on for Barbie and the Rockers, and it said coming soon. But let me tell you, they between the buyer at Toy Fair that saw that, and if a Hasbro employee told Mattel, um, they were they were going crazy trying to come up with concepts. And I actually have, um, about 9 different prototype
Prototypes.
rocker
Wow,
dolls.
that's a
Yeah,
huge amount of prototype dolls of
yeah,
the same collection.
nine. I probably have maybe even more of prototype dolls, and clearly one of the dolls, which I can't get to right now, or I would. One of the dolls that I have, clearly, if Mattel would have come out with that doll, Hasbro would have sued them because it is so close to one of the, um, misfit looking. Well, it's giving you that misfit vibe very much. Um, but I'm very excited about the Barbie and the Rockers. Um, I don't have it where I can show you, but if you look up the Barbie and the Rockers commercial from 1987, where they dance, I actually own that stage that's used in the commercial, which I was able to get years and years and years ago. Um, but I'm very excited about the Barbie and the Rockers. Um, from what I understand, Bill worked on those. So Bill is a big 80s fan as well. So I think we're going to do okay. I
I
understand
hope
that
so.
there's going to be one doll, I understand, that is going to be an exclusive. I don't know if it's going to be a Barbie, um, a Mattel Creations exclusive, or it's going to be an Amazon exclusive. I've read that and heard that, a couple of times. I'm very curious to see who it's going to be, um, but I can't wait to see
Yeah,
those
and
dolls. I'm very
for
excited.
those that are not aware, and Barbie always had this type of behavior through the competition. It's called flanking, where they rush to uh, blow their competitor strategy with
Oh yeah,
dolls. Like, for
oh yeah.
example, when Charlie's Angels dolls were presented by Hasbro, they did
Uh-huh.
Fawcett, of course, and Mattel launched Superstar Barbie with the same kind of appeal. When
Fair.
the
Yeah.
when they present, I have actually I'm preparing a video about Barbie and the Hawkers. That's why I have this information on my hands. And when they did Maxi,
Uh-huh.
let me remember, some years after Gen Fall, Hasbro tried to launch a doll called Maxi, and
Oh yeah.
Mattel launched Jay-Z, Jay-Z,
Jazzy.
uh,
Yes.
uh,
Yes.
Jazzy. Yeah, it's causing uh, when uh, English company called Pedigree launched Cine dolls
Uh-huh.
with the mod style and all this stuff. Mattel launched Frenchie. So Mattel already have this type of behavior of flacking other
Right.
companies' strategies.
Right. Yeah, I mean it's competition, you know. Um as far as Cindy, um and I've heard this before about Francie, was they were trying to, you know, dip their toe in the water of trendy stuff because you had, all the stuff from the 50s and early 60s, and, before
The
the
British
British,
invasion.
the British invasion and stuff. And also, as you know, you've probably seen, the Francie head was going to be Barbie's next look after they got rid of the original Barbie face. There's been multiple prototypes that have shown up from their archives where the Francie face was going to be the new face of Barbie, and apparently they thought it was too young looking, so they came up with the twist and turn. Also, um, one of the reasons they used Francie, I've heard this, is because they would test stuff out on Francie first as far as clothing, and then if it was okay, then they would give it to Barbie mod, crazy mod stuff, and um,
They were not
so
testing
it's
something new on Barbie so easily. They
yeah, they
matched
kind
the
of
waters. Is that right?
right there, yeah, they kind of tested the waters, and so
Tested the
um, and
waters.
and that's why Francie also I've heard has two clearly different um, styles of clothes. So it was marketing, So they had all this crazy, wild mod stuff for parents that were okay with that, and then they also had all this very classic, very what's the word I'm looking for? Um, Traditional, you know, ladylike skirts and ladylike suits for their, teenage daughters and, stuff like that. Um, it's all marketing. I mean, it's just, you know, marketing.
Uh, The original group had 5 characters, and Mattel
Yes.
we won't launch Barbie, Didi, and Diva. And there are some rumors about Amazon launching
Well,
some exclusive dolls about the other two.
now
Gina,
I heard we're getting Barbie, Dee Dee, and Dana.
yeah,
Diva and
that's right.
yeah, Diva
I'm
and Derek. I've heard rumors and stories that possibly Derek and Diva, either one or both of them, are going to either be a Amazon exclusive or they're going to be a Mattel Creations or Barbie Club member only dolls. I do not know if
yeah,
that's true, but I think they should do. I find it very hard that they would not do the other two. And let me tell you
yeah,
a really funny story on that
uh,
line is when we got the Wizard of Oz dolls, we got Dorothy, okay?
yeah,
And we got I think we got the lion. I can't remember. It was Dorothy and the lion. And then so it's like, okay, we get this picture of Dorothy and the lion. It may have not been the lion, but it was one of the other characters. So we're like,
yeah,
oh gosh, well, very interesting. The next year, they blew up the picture. There's the other characters. They already had them done. So we got the first ones the first year, and then they already had them already photographed and everything, and they just blew that picture. They just widened that picture, and there's, you know, the Scarecrow and the Tin Man and the Lion and all that stuff, um, which I thought was
yeah.
so I do think
But here we have a different approach. Since last year, we had a voting about what characters should be produced on Mattel
yes,
Creations. What I
right.
think that may have happened is that they saw the reaction of collectors, and
Uh-huh.
maybe they are trying to find a way to present the 5 dolls without
Yes.
compromising the voting from last year.
Yes, I think I agree with you. They were sticking their, like with Francie, we were just talking about, they were sticking their toe in the water, seeing what the reaction would be. So that's why I think we're getting the three from Mattel, and then the other two are going to be, or Mattel Creations. The other two are either going to be, and God, I hope they don't do this. I hope they don't have one be for Barbie Club members and the other from Amazon. I hope they decide to either do both dolls for Barbie Club members or both dolls from Amazon, not try to make us go crazy trying to get two dolls from two different companies.
From
Um,
Amazon, yeah,
but I think we're getting the whole line. I personally, and I've thought that from the very beginning, that we would get the whole line from
I hope
the
so.
voting. Yeah. So
Yeah. Are you trying to get these dolls, or are you happy with the set that you already have?
um I I
Of course, you're
think I'm
getting.
probably going to get all five of them. I think I'm probably going to get all five of them because it was
I'm
such
only
a
getting 5
yeah,
of them.
just the five, but because it was such a part of my childhood and well teenage years, and everything. And the other kind of connection I have is in '87, they had a contest where if you filled out some song lyrics on a little piece of paper and sent it in, um, you could get a free Barbie record and a Barbie t-shirt. So I filled out the form, mailed it in, thinking, okay, well, I'll just get my t-shirt and my little free record, and everything will be fine. I was horrified when I got a letter from the contest, and oh, by the way, the first prize was being in a Barbie and the Rockers music video. Um, and I get a letter that I am one of the winners in the contest. There was only one little problem. The age cutoff was 12 and I was 16. So,
Oh, of course, you told us this story where your
yes, yes.
dad.
So, I have a kind of a connection that way, so Barbie and the Rockers are very close to my heart, In fact, back in the day, I used to be known as the rocker guy because if you had any questions about Barbie and the Rockers, I was the one that had the answers and could tell you everything about them, the outfits, the accessories, where you could buy certain accessories that weren't sold other places, you know. So I had that reputation back then when I lived in California back in the
So
80s.
you
So
have
they're
to
very
have these
close to my
dolls.
heart. Yeah, I can't wait for them. I can't wait.
Okay, so
What about you? Are
uh,
you going to get them?
I of course I'm gonna get them. I don't have
Okay.
any of the original setups of the dolls, the ones
Okay.
launched in 1986, 87,
86.
but I have the reproduction from 2009 from
Uh,
the my favorite Barbie collection.
yes. Yes.
So I'm really excited about us getting these dolls. Unfortunately, the skirt of my doll, of my reproduction doll, was made of leather, folks leather, and
Yeah.
just vanished through the years. And I
Yeah.
hope this new one don't have the same fox leather
Yeah.
skirt.
Yeah. I hope so too. I hope mine, yeah. Mine did, I mean, my originals, you know, well, I've got prototypes and samples, so they have those original leather things and they've disintegrated, unfortunately. Um, so, but
Yeah,
that's okay, I'm very excited about these finally coming. So
yeah. Next month when I hope we're having another doll news show. Will you be having the news about us getting or not all the dolls? So I'm
yes.
excited for our next show.
Yes, and we should know something really soon. What I find very interesting, I don't know if you noticed, but they showed the announcements, for the different things. What I found kind of two things I found very interesting was one of the launches is on a Sunday. It's on the
Yeah,
8th
the
of
Barbie
March
and the
is on a
Hawkers one.
Sunday. Yeah. And then the other thing was people were wondering, um, I think it's the 24th of March. The announcement is blue, and I think that's going to be the Ambassador, the Lenny Kravitz doll, because the
Yeah,
announcement
I
was in
saw you're
blue.
talking about that on a Plastic Tennis Instagram,
Yes,
but I think
yes,
that
yes.
this just the color for the Mattel Creations launchings uh,
Oh, okay.
on the calendar. So I don't
Oh,
know,
okay.
maybe right, but I think that's just the standard color for Mattel Creations
Oh, okay.
uh,
Okay.
branded stuff.
Right,
Like, for example, Barbie's pink and Hot Wheels is blue, and Mattel
right,
Creations is kind of purplish color.
right, right. Okay. We'll
But
see.
I hope we get the ambassador doll. But there are so many dolls for this year, and the year just started. We are on the second month, and we already had a ton of dolls. I hope we
A
can
ton of
survive,
dolls.
or at least our wallets can survive to through this year.
Right, right. Well, especially like we'll go back to Barbie and the Rockers. You know, you get one reproduction doll, let's just say the, reproduction superstar Barbie that we got. Okay, well that's, $50. Well, now you've got $50 times five.
Yeah,
Yeah.
two hundred and
So
fifty dollars in just one day, one
in
collection.
one day,
It's
one day.
yeah.
So, thank goodness I have two kidneys so I can sell one of them if I have to. So
Yeah, and part of your liver as well.
just a small
One of
part,
your
but yeah.
eyes. Yeah, that's what I intend to do.
Yeah, yes.
Okay,
Anything
Michael.
else?
Uh, No, actually, we had so much more to talk about because there are so many news and stuff and rumors. But I think that our show it's on. It's okay the way it is,
Yes.
and I hope
Yes.
we have more news to talk about next month.
I'm sure we will. I'm sure we will because if they've given us, my thing is, if they've given us this much stuff this early, can you imagine what we have not seen yet?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean in fact, just yesterday I saw a picture of some of the fashionistas, which they've now changed the name to, I believe, Barbie Style, um, or Barbie
Such
Style,
original
something.
name.
Anyway, and
Style. Yeah,
we usually get at least two or three
they are
waves of
not.
those. So
Yeah, not they are not fashionistas and they're not style. So
yeah,
bad name and looks like they're being messing with the names again, like Tribute
yes,
Collection, Tribute to Fashion, Fashion
right,
Frontier. It's look
yeah,
down. They should start hiring someone for the names.
yeah. They need to not because that makes it difficult. Well, and I'll give you a really good example, like you talked about earlier, the Barbie Basics. Then they
Yeah,
went to the, the looks, the red carpet, then the basics, then
and
people
the
get
looks back,
confused,
but
you
not the
know,
looks, just looks.
right? Not the looks, but and another one was when we had the BMR line in the 90s, and then they let the BMR line for the things that Carlisle did. That gets very
Yeah,
confusing, you know. So,
yeah.
but hopefully,
I don't think that the dictionary at Mattel's is uh, it has many words. They may be short on words with the
yes.
dictionary.
Yes, yeah, I think they're running out of, new names, and so they're just
Yeah,
recycling, other ones. So,
yeah.
yikes. So,
Okay, Michael, it's been a pleasure talking to you again.
you
I
as well.
hope we can meet again in 15 days for Doll News, Doll Talk. I'm
Yes.
sorry, Doll Talk, our podcast about other stuff about Barbie. And next month we will have, of course, Doll News. That's our show about Barbie news and things related. Thank you again for your amazing contribution to the community and for this
Oh,
channel.
oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate you having me on here. It's a
Yeah, and
joy. So,
I just need to know the name of your other friends for me to just know where they live. You need to send me that message. I'm taking
oh,
my car right now to visit them.
okay. Okay. Well,
Okay, Michael.
all right.
Thank you. Kisses.
All right.
See you in 15 days.
Okay, we'll see you in
Bye.
15 days then. Okay, bye.